All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Friday Team Call. Glad to see all the bright, shining faces on here. Great morning. Hope you're all having a good day. We've got some special guests. Welcome representatives from the Choate Agency, the Cox Agency, the Gastineau, the Door Agency, and the Mank Base Shop, and our special guest, Mr. Scott Mank. Quick note to the Menefee hierarchy. We're going to reverse order operations this morning. We're going to jump right into the content and do leaderboards at the end so we can make sure that our guest will get full advantage of the topic for the day. But and then certainly welcome to hang out with us afterward. But we'll do our leaderboards later on and let everybody go on with their day that want to get going. So welcome again, everybody. Welcome to our special guest host, Mr. Scott Mank. Scott, how are you doing this morning?
Hey, everybody. How you doing out there? I tell you what, I turned on this. I mean, I heard the music. Thank God I don't drink caffeine. I'm telling you, you guys have way too much fun. That's why I don't drink caffeine. I get on calls like this, I'm already fired up. So keeps me off the ceiling and the walls there, Chris. I'm telling you, I love it. Stacy, man,
fun and get stuff done. Yeah, I tell you, hey, I got to.
I'm like, yeah.
Shout out to Stacy and Donna for the inspiration for intro music this morning on their crew. They're going back and forth this morning. I said, hey, that's good. I think that's a good way to open up the call. So
that's right. That's right.
Awesome. Well, so for the call today, we had agency owner meeting middle of the week, and topic came up. Very important metric of our business that is easily overlooked. We all do it. And but it's critical, and it's more critical now than ever for us to be paying attention each and every one, because we got a lot of people coming up through the ranks. I know, Scott, I talked with you, and you've got an AO group that you meet with, the future AOs group, and I've got something similar going in my hierarchy. I've actually got a couple different groups going, and one of the things that is crucial for up and coming leaders, but really for anybody in this business, because we're a system driven business, and you have to know the rules of the road to be able to operate within the system and to be able to move forward and gain the growth and the success and everything that comes along with it. But it comes with checking certain boxes, and there's one box that seems to be getting overlooked a lot, and we were talking about it, and again, we've all been guilty of this, and you and I have had many conversations about this. Is something we never really paid attention to in the past, but it keeps coming back up and nipping at our heels, and it's something that we really wanted to bring up to everybody, make sure that everybody has the best opportunity to move forward in this business, in success, and to be able to to be able to win and get to the top, get to 120. Whether that be on the production side or on the team building side, and this is a key metric. So, Scott, I'll go ahead and kind of let you introduce kind of what we wanted to talk about today, and kind of some of that, the why, the what, the how, and dig into this a little bit.
Absolutely. What I want to say is, Chris, your whole hierarchy, thank you so much for having us just invade your time space right here. But it's going to be well worth it. It really is. And so Chris and I have had a conversation, right? And one of the things that when we look at symmetry, we always say, symmetry means balanced, right? You want your business to be balanced. I always put on an orientation. One of the things I talk about is if you're not balanced, if you're not doing the right things through this, I flip the next chart and it shows a couple buildings collapsing, right? And that's what it is, folks. It's going to collapse. I'm not saying if it collapses on you one time that you can't come back and go forward again. Jacob Pogue collapsed on him twice in his early days, right? But look where he is today. But what I'm saying is we have the beauty what symmetry does is they've got parameters, right? They've got certain things that they want you to hit. They're not doing that to torture you. Trust me, they're not, right? They're just doing this to make sure that you have that balance, that you can you can build your business and have that great base, right? And that you're not going to collapse. And it's so important, right? And so I'm going to bring back a little bit. I'm going to take you back, guys, back a few years. Chris, when he was new here, I was new here. Chris, Dan, who's on here, Johnny, you know, they were my really up and coming agents, right? I mean, owners, the leaders. The problem with that was I was an up and coming leader, right? And so when we went through the process, we really didn't quite understand some of the stuff. Or to be honest with you, Chris, if we're going to be honest, we probably didn't even look at it, right? Because we were fortunate enough back then that we had these things, but doggone it, we were doing a good job and we just didn't think nothing of it, right? PPL, what, 400 or 500, right? I mean, we were doing the numbers. So I could put it on myself. I could do other things. Just say, hey, you know, we just didn't have these conversations, right? I didn't get conversations above us because we were doing well. Well, guess what? We start growing. We start growing, we get bigger. Things change. We had COVID situations. We got lead change situations, all kinds of things, right? And I can blame it on everything, but I'm not going to, right? So what we're going to talk about today is how do we put this in a better situation? The thing that's been glaring for us right now is the PPL. Chris is going to explain that to you. It will probably take him 10 seconds to explain it. There's an equation for it, and you're all going to go, I got it. And I hope y'all got pencil and paper. Write these things down because it's going to be that important. So what we've talked about, it expanded from there. We're like, well, wait a minute. And us AOs were together and we're talking about this stuff, right? And we're like, wait a minute, we get questions on this and we get questions on that. So what we're going to also do is talk about something called a snapshot. Okay, y'all probably don't know what that is. Typically is how it is. I think now key leaders get it, but it used to get to when you become an agency owner, your life opens up in front of you on the computer. What does that mean? You get a snapshot. Okay, the snapshot, if you're building a team, it'll have you in there, it'll have your folks in there, and it's going to tell you all the criteria, the things that you need to hit. Not only to hit these because you can get a bonus, but folks, we want you profitable, right? I don't want Barry sitting there and going, well, I'm doing everything. I'm calling people, I'm setting appointments, I've made a few sales, but I don't see myself making money. And I don't understand that, right? We are going to have you understand it. So when we go and talk about the snapshot, what we're going to do in this hierarchy is you all are going to know what that snapshot is, right? You're not going to have it on your screen because you can't until you get to that point, but doggone it, we can show it to you, right? And what you want to do is to make sure you're having a conversation with your mentor, right? Your AO mentor, key leader, and they can go through this at the end of the month and tell you where you are. I have been doing this for 4 agents right now, 4. And you can call it test beta, whatever you want to do, right? But these folks wanted to know what their business was doing. So I would literally say, okay, I would take a picture of the snapshot of where they are in the snapshot picture of the snapshot, and I would send it to them. And we would discuss it. And they're like, okay, Scott, this is making sense, right? I get what's going on. Now, when they look at it, they know, they're like, wow, Scott, I just hit key leader. They see it. Oh, I see the numbers. I got the issue paid. There it is. I got this right. They know now what's going on in their business. And then one person's like, Scott, I hit AO numbers at key leader. What does that mean? What does that mean? Do I use that to move on as AO, right? I mean, that brings up questions and it really helps you understand what's going on in your business. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to have a conversation. We're going to go through the important things that you need to know about your business. And once again, Chris, we talked about this. This isn't just for builders, right? You get this information when you're at AO. Me personally, I think everyone should get it today. That's just my opinion, right? But what I'm saying is we're going to make sure that even you agents need to know this. Why? PPL might not be important to you right now. PI might not be important to you right now. You may think not, but it is. Right now, what you guys look at is how much money am I making, right? How many cap am I writing? We'll talk about in that too. But this stuff is important, and I want you all to understand it now until later on when you're like, uh-oh, I can't get promotions because I didn't get my PPL, right? I didn't hit PPL. I didn't, hit certain things, right? I want you to understand what this is so you can get it. Or, hey, I missed my $2,000 or $1,000 bonus because I did everything else, but I didn't get that PPL. right? And once again, the PPL, sorry about that, folks. Let me turn this off. There we go. The PPL is highly important in this business. Like I said, Chris and I were talking about, we never worried about it because we were always at 400 and 500. You have to be at 300, right? And I want to step on your toes, Chris, but you know, if you want to go through numbers, but there's certain numbers on these PPLs that are very important for bonus and also what they look at profitability. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to show you an Excel spreadsheet. Now, the original one, when you see on the screen, it's all pretty. It's green, blue, red, you got all your pretty colors, right? My Excel spreadsheet is the same thing. It brings up Excel, but it's just basic draft, okay? But other than that, we're going to go through the numbers. We're going to explain exactly what each category means and why is it important to you. I've always been this way, Chris. I'm sure you are too. I want to know where I'm going. I don't like to fly blind. I'm very structured. I want to know what I need to do my next move. What do I need to do to the next promotion? These 4 people that I've been helping right now, they figured it out. They're like, oh my gosh, Scott, if I do this and my agency does this, I could be there. Yes. But if they don't know the numbers, if they don't see it, they can't figure it out. So Chris, that's obviously you and I was glad we had this conversation. This thing expanded, not only just for you, Chris, not only just for your AOs, but this expanded out all the way down to an agent, right? And it's so important that everybody knows this because if I've got Michael here and he's an agent and he's doing the right things, he's doing all these things, guess what Michael's going to do? He's going to be able to bump up better on his promotions down when it gets bigger because he's got to have the PPL, he's got to have all these things, right? He's going to be able to get these promotions, especially after 100%. They get a little tougher, right? It's not just hitting issue paid and that, you got to hit these other things. But if he knows it now, he's prepared to be able to go through that, right? And so that is what's so important. And once again, I've said this before, we were very blessed and everything, that we were doing very well with this, but things have changed. And unfortunately, the couple areas that I will be touching on, the couple hot spots that we do have in this hierarchy, I'll touch on it. But this whole presentation, everything that we're doing today is a positive. You know, you might be going, oh my gosh, that's me or whatever. Don't worry, it's a positive. We catch it now, then we move forward, okay? Chris, do you have anything else before we move on?
Yeah, I think it's good just kind of set the groundwork for what we're talking about. So you mentioned the definition. I'm going to pull it up straight from the agent handbook. So it's in the agent handbook. If you go on Quilty HQ under resources, you'll find the handbooks, but straight from the agent handbook, paid premium per lead or PPL. And PPL is the net placed premium. So what we also call is issue paid. So in other words, the business that you actually get approved by the carrier. So it's the net placed premium divided by the number of A leads taken. And the example they give is $12,000 net place divided by 80 A leads results in a PPL of 150. Now that 150 number, why is that important? You guys, this is all in 2 sentences. They basically describe what it is. And the last sentence is the minimum PPL for a raise is $150. So $150 PPL. And the reason why, and again, if you're, an agent, you're on the production track, or maybe you're fairly new and this doesn't really mean anything to you right now, this is exactly why it's important to you. What's in it for me? Minimum PPL for a raise is 150, and this is something that I know, Scott, you're going to touch on as far as what raises look like moving forward, because it's not something we've really zeroed in on in the past, but we're starting to see it pop up enough to where it is going to be an issue, and so that's why we want to make sure everybody's available or aware of, number one, how's it calculated. And we can provide, you don't have to go through and calculate that by hand. Again, that Scott's going to show you in the snapshot that's there. But the important metric for everybody, it doesn't matter where you're at in this business. And this is why we want to highlight it, so we can, save some people some headache down the road when they feel like they've hit all their numbers. And then this last little number sneaks up. Minimum PPL for a raise is 150.
Absolutely. And then it's different also on the bonuses, right? If you want to touch on that, Chris.
Yeah, bonuses. And that's in a different. Hang on a second. Let me see if I. It's 200 plus PPL to receive a bonus, but that's only it's a reduced bonus at that level. So it's I believe it's 50%. It's
Yeah.
It may be in the AO handbook. That's maybe in a different section. But so you have to get, and I believe it's either 250 or 300 plus on your PPL before you can get a full bonus. And guys, that's pretty significant money. If you ever look at the bonus list that Symmetry puts out every month, that there's some significant numbers there. You know, there's producers, there are AOs that, you know, even just $1,000, you know, $1,000 bonus, you know, what does that do for your lead cost every month? Or as an agency owner, $2,000 to $3,000 to $4,000 to $5,000, what does that do for your building budget and your recruiting budget and lead credit allocation? So that's, again, a very, very important metric that we watch.
Yeah, here's what's really, really important about this, folks. And you can take this to heart if you want. I would. Understand what that means by that bonus. It's not like you're thinking, well, you know, if I don't hit the bonus, you know, that's less bonus that Symmetry has to pay out. Oh, that is not true. Here's the thing that's interesting. You don't hit it, and whatever your bonus is pooled in for the people who did. Think about that for a minute. People who are not hitting the bonuses that should have, that money's pooled in for the people who did. Extra money. That's pretty big. So yeah, they are paying out the bonus. It's just people are getting more because they're hitting the numbers. And that PPL is a notorious one from keeping you from getting it. So just letting you know, if you're hitting those numbers, you're probably making a little bit more than you, or probably not, maybe even significant more by just that. So that's really, really important, really important. So the bonuses are out there. And, but once again, like Chris was saying, I loved it when I would get the bonuses, right? That was the money I used to pay for my leads, or I paid for, you know, I was recruiting. So I started using that for the recruiting. And that's a big deal. It's a big deal to be able to do that, put that money right back in your business. So, and once again, any bonus that I get, I put it back in the business to help you all, right? And right now, to be honest with you, and we're very transparent, what's hurting us right now and what's hurting me to help you guys with some stuff that I've been wanting to do is PPL. As a whole, we're not getting PPL, and you know, that's bonuses that could go right back into this business. And so, and once again, I'm more worried about this. I'm talking about bonuses because I want y'all to get bonuses to help yourself, but I also want to make sure you're all profitable, and that's what's so important. Okay, so I guess, Chris, what we'll do right now is we're just going to go right into the snapshot and go over this. Anything else before we start, Chris? Anything at all?
No, that's good.
Okay, very good. I am co-host on this, Chris.
Yeah, you are.
Very good. Let me bring this up. All right. All right, everybody. I hope y'all can see this. Chris, can you see it?
Yep.
Good. Very, very good. Once again, there's a lot more to this. And what I mean a lot more is there's things that I want to touch on real quick. Not only will we see what your numbers are as a whole, but we can also see, and you can see on there, of the percentages of what you're writing with what carrier. And it will tell you, it'll break it out on how much you submitted with that carrier and also how much was issued. Okay, so that's really neat. So I look at that. And when I look at someone who might be struggling, right, I'll go in there and I'll find out what they're writing. And if I see that they're writing with a certain carrier and it's been 20% of being issued, I'm going to come back and say, hey, we need to talk about this a little bit. What's going on, right? What's the struggle there? Or if I see certain ones that we do really well with, you know, we've got some carriers here that we're absolutely killing it with, that we're literally issuing more than we're having submitted. Why is that? Because it's just the rolling of the money that's been going on right now. And you know, and SBLI's been one of those. America has been one of those, right? I'm throwing some of these out there. Some of them that's been a struggle. National Life, it's huge. It's glaring, right? So one of those things is you might want to do is talk to your mentor. say, you know, what is the best products that I can work with that can help my, not only take care of my clients and my customers, but also can help me, right? Then I know I can get business through. You know, we have great ones, right? We have a couple that's been an issue, right? We've seen some issues. We got another carrier that, you know, it's been kind of a different issue too. But if you're having no issues with, that's fine. That's Foresters. So I always keep a watch on these. Now Foresters might be having a little bit of issues. And all of a sudden, in a month or two, they're back to doing great things, right? But I always keep an eye on it, and I always let the mentors and or AOs know what I'm looking at and what's going on with this. So what we're going to do right now is we're just going to, like I said, talk about these different parts of the snapshot. And the snapshot, folks, it's a snapshot of your month. Okay, everything that we're going to talk about here pertains just to the month. This isn't okay, this is where I am now. Next month, it's going to, you know, it's going to average. No, it's a snapshot of that month. So what we do is we look at this, right? And if I have someone like Stacy and I'm having a conversation with her, right? And I'm looking at this and, you know, I'll look at one here. I'm going to look at a couple different ones. But, you know, if I look at the first row, it's the submit, okay? I have never dealt with that before. When I used to be when I worked with another company, we always looked at issue. You can have as much submit as you want, but if you're not issuing it, doesn't matter, right? You're not going to get 70% like number 8, row 8 there. It's got 14,000. You don't make 70% of 14,000 unless it all 100% issues, right? So that's just showing what you submit. That's what you wrote in annual premium. That's what you wrote. So, and once again, this is good to see because if you're not keeping your numbers or you're good at keeping your numbers, you can look and see what you have compared to what we've seen, right? And we have a little bit of discrepancy once in a while. They're like, well, wait a minute, Scott, I wrote this or I wrote that. Well, maybe it was in between the months or whatever, or the issue. I have people who keep an eye on the issue, right? It might be a bit of a discrepancy. Typically, 99% of the time, it's something that moved from one month and rolled into the next, right? And so those things will happen. But if you take this and you look at this, you got $14,233 of submit, right? You wrote that those annual premiums, that's what it added up to. Then you go to the next one, it's issued, okay? So if you look at this, $14,233 was, 2,088 of it was issued. So once again, if you're making 70% commission, you're making 70% of the 2,088. Now, some of you, what I'm talking about right now is very basic. I get it. We have a lot of new people on here. So I want to, as like I said, goes all the way back to new people. I want everybody to understand this because this is your business. Now, after that, we're going to have the percentage. What does that mean? Well, if you take that 14,000, take it from the 2,000 that was issued, 14.68% was issued. That's what was issued, okay? I know Symmetry says that they want you to have a minimum of 70. I would like to see it at 75. Trust me, I think you should be at 75. That is another area that we can talk to later about how can we enhance or do better on your issue paid. I would love to I'm going to talk to the agency owners on things that I did because folks, I had a little over an 85% issue paid on average. That's what I had. And it's nothing, not because I've been in the business forever. It's just some things that I know how we can get things through. But that's what I was at. I was at the 85%. I've always ran 85 or above. So that is something we can definitely talk about or have a class on that. But this is at 14.68. Do you think this person's profitable? Probably not, right? But once again, this is a month shot. This is on a monthly basis. Hopefully that's gone up, right? So, but that's 14.58, much lower than the 75% we want, okay? So now we get to the PPL, right? So when we look at this, it's interesting. If you look at the PPL on this, it's at 261, which is good. We have another one here that's at $5,625, $937. It's 16%, but they have a PPL of 937, right? And you're thinking, well, wait a minute, why is the PPL so high? Well, Chris, with that calculation, can you go back to that again? And we can figure it, and it's going to give us the reason why. right? It'll give us the reason why. All you have to do is use that calculation. So, but once again, when you start going down to these things, so once again, when you go over, you have a PI, which I'm not concerned with the PI right now, but the A, here's where you see the A plus TA leads purchased. Okay, this is how many A leads have been purchased. Okay, so if you've got the same one with the row 8, you've got what? 8 A leads, right? How many applications were taken? 13, right? So if you see that, then you're looking, okay, that's 13, but what was my ratio? That's 162.5% ratio. So this person has written 13 applications on 8 A leads. They've got 162. What the company wants is 30%. So that's very, very good, right? Very, very good. So that's what affects the PPL too, is how many A leads you buying to the applications taken, right? That's what affects that. So if we go down, let's go down a little bit lower, right? We go down and we look at different things like, okay, we got one here at 29%, right? So we got 29%. Well, if we look at that, once again, let's look at the PPL. Let me look at something here. I apologize. Here we go. That's D. So if we go there, let's go back to that one again. Here we go. So let's go to the 28. Okay. If you look at this, what's their PPL? That's at 179, right? They had bought 38 A leads. They wrote 11. They're at 28.95. So they're under the 30%. PPL is decent, right? It's right there. But we want to, once again, where am I? Here we go. Yeah. We want to keep it a little bit, we'd like to keep it to that 200 to 300, right? That's what I'm always looking at. That is so important. That's going to keep you profitable. Now, you might be saying, well, wait a minute, Scott. I've heard about that 30% before. Some of you may have lost your GMR. And that's why I talk about this stuff. You have to have a 30% or better on as far as getting your leads to sales, right? So if you bought 10 A leads, you wrote 3, that's 30%. You're good, right? But we have a 6-week rolling. So let me give you an example. Maybe 1 week you did 30%. Maybe 1 week you did 43. 1 week maybe you did 10, right? Another week you did 60. It rolls. It rolls on. So what happens here, if you're staying 30 and above, you're good. But if you have this up and down drastic, it can be a problem, because here's the deal. Let's say that you did 20% for that last week, but this week. But 6 weeks ago, you did 80%. Well, when that new 20% comes in, guess what happens? That 80% on back end, it rolls off. So maybe you were at 50%. Now maybe you're down to 30 or 29, right? So you're going to see that fluctuation. So what happens is, and what's good about the 6-week roll, it's not like if you're at 26%, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my GMR. You're not. You can call it probation, you call it whatever you want. But what they're going to do is they'll let you know, hey, you've dropped under the 30%. Okay. Now let's say you do another 20%. You dropped again, you're at this percent now, and they'll have little things they'll put you in, you'll be in yellow, then you're in green, then you'll be in yellow, then you'll be in red. But they'll let you know about 3 times or 4 times that you are in a situation where you're going to lose this GMR. So now you're panicking a little bit, right? And you talk to your mentor. You can see what you've done in the last 6 weeks. You can see it. And I'll say, okay, well, listen, you had 10 here, you had 0. But now if you write 50% or 40%, you'll be fine, right? You can do that, okay? But you always want to stay 30% anyway. Don't play that game. But the thing is, they're not going to get rid of your GMR immediately. And so how do you change that? Okay, very simple. Keep getting your A leads, but add bonus leads. If you add the bonus leads, that helps you towards that percentage. So we'll give an example. Let's say that you wrote 2 applications on 10 A leads. That's 20%. But if you have bonus leads and you wrote 3 of them, those 3 application goes towards that 10 A leads. So now instead of being at 20%, you've added 3 more bonus lead applications in there. Now you're at 50%. That's how it's so simple to raise that so quick that, to be honest with you folks, you should never, ever lose a GMR. The only way you lose a GMR is if you're just doing A leads and you're just not writing enough business. And that's what's going to happen, right? Here's another way you can cure this. Folks, write multiple applications. Write multiple applications, right? That's how you're going to do it. You know, I had, once again, one of the people that I'm working with on this, you know, talking about, you know, looking at their snapshot. I loved it. The question was, Scott, listen, you need to tell me if I have an A lead and I write 4 applications, that counts within those. Yes. And there's, oh my gosh. I mean, and this person didn't know it, right? That is what I want to stop now, is people not knowing everything, right? I want you to understand this process, because that's what's going to help you. That's why a lot of times, you know, I might be looking at Victoria, and I'm telling her, you know what makes sense, Victoria? What you need to do when you talk to people, when you're out there, you know, write multiple products. If you're writing a term policy, write an accidental death with that. You're like, oh, okay. But I'm not showing her or having her understand why that is important, not only for the client, but what's important for you to make sure that you're doing your numbers, which makes your base of your business strong. And then that way you're never going to have your structure fall apart.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Let me pop in, because there's a perfect case study in here, if you don't mind highlighting line 35.
Okay.
Line 35. So if you look at that, so this person, and we obviously deleted names because we want to keep this anonymous, and yeah, you know, this is just a we're not going to tell you what month or anything about who it is. But you know, if you look at this, they wrote 21,000, they issued 15,000. That's pretty decent. In fact, 73.66. That's a good issue rate. Like you were saying, we want to be around 75%. So that's not too bad. That person made pretty decent money that month. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, look at their PPL. It's 149.64. So they're 36 cents under the 150 mark. Mm-hmm. Why is that? So if we go over to the right, you'll notice they took 104 A leads. They wrote 25 apps, which gave them a 24% conversion rate on A leads. So there's the problem right there. So again, in the grand scheme, yeah, they made decent money and they had a solid month, but this could have been so much better, because they took a lot of A leads and they wrote 25 apps. Gosh, with just, you know, with just another 5 apps, they're at that 30% and they're above the 130 PPL. And quite frankly, had they mixed in, like you said, some bonus leads. So if this had been, say, 100 A leads, and then they went out and bought throughout the course of a month, because this is a monthly number, let's say that through the course of the month, they bought, say, another 50 bonus leads, you know, which are a third of the cost of A leads, mm-hmm, and just converted 5 apps on those bonus leads. Now, all of a sudden, you're looking at a 30+% conversion rate on your egg, because again, those bonus leads can only help you; they can't hurt you. So that number, that number, that 104, will not change with the bonus lead order, but the app count will change. So anything they write on those bonus leads will pump that number up, which then not only increases their close percentage, you know, keeps them out of hot water, with potentially losing a GMR, but also that PPL number now goes up, and we probably do a quick calculation on that, but it definitely goes above 150. And again, that's the key, because quite honestly, if this person were going for a promotion and that came in, I mean, you know, look, it's in the handbook. 150 is the cutoff. You want to say you missed a promotion by 36 cents? When all it took was another application or two to get you above the line. That's why we're highlighting these numbers and why it's so important to be aware. And then again, we haven't really highlighted this before. This is why we bring it up now. It's not to beat anybody over the head, it's just to make sure that you understand how this system works and how to play the game.
Hey, Chris and Scott, this is Stella. Can I add something? And I'm happy to throw myself underneath the bus as a learning, a learning situation. May I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just as long as you don't go point out specific numbers, because again,
Yeah.
we don't want anybody tracking this sheet back to anybody or anyone. Yeah,
What if
any
it's
month.
myself?
But if they know it's you, they can go back and track your numbers and then figure out everybody else's number by looking at our leaderboards.
Okay. All right. Well, all I can say then, I won't go there, but I will say that, you know, and I'll say this because I've, you know, in the past, you know, I'm confident that I've had, you know, a high issue rate. I got in Progue Agency, you know, 1 year, 82% award for, you know, one of the highest issue rates. Well, I had a horrible month and worst month I've ever had. And a couple of, you know, I looked back and figured out what I didn't do to cause that. And I didn't dial my A leads, as I didn't really, I mean, I dialed them, but I didn't really dial them as much as I could, number one. Number two, I didn't add bonus leads like you're talking about. And number three, I wrote a lot of policies that, you know, one was like 7,000 APV. And so I got so busy that I got actually, I got lazy looking back and not pushing harder on the rest of my applications because I met my APV. But when it didn't get, you know, issued through, it really hurt me. So I just want, you know, you're talking about all this and I just want to give hope to people that might be like, oh my gosh, you know, this looks really bad. Well, it can be, but it doesn't have to be. So that's all I wanted to add.
Yeah, you know, and I think it's really important to what Chris was talking about. You take that 104 again, right? You take that 104, that's a person buying 104 A leads. Okay, y'all know how much A leads cost, right? So then you look at that, you know, and then they write 25 out of that at a 24%. Okay, folks, you got to remember something. You're looking back, you go, yeah, but they issued 15,000, you know, so they made pretty good money. But you haven't taken out the cost of the leads yet, right? You haven't taken that out yet. So remember, it's all about profitability. This is your business. You want to stay profitable. Man, I don't understand, Scott. You know, I'm issuing this much, but still I don't have the profit I don't think I should. It's because of this, right? And trust me on this, I would know every month my bottom line. What's my bottom line? And that's why I would be having this conversation with your mentor, your AO, whoever, on where you are. You need to know this. Don't allow this to go on forever. And then you're wondering why things are, this ship is sinking, right? You can't do that. You have to know these things. Now, that being said, what was really important, we've got folks on this team that does this. They're awesome at it, right? What I did when I was in the field, every time I wrote a term policy, I added an accidental death. They loved it. They thought they were special, right? Hey, listen, matter of fact, if you pass away, not only will this pay, but if you pass away due to an accident, it double indemnity. You're going to not only get $200,000, your spouse is going to get $400,000. Now, wouldn't that be nice to have that extra money to use for income replacement? You talked earlier about having that life insurance, you're using it for income replacement. We can add another $200,000 to that to really help that income. It could even help the cost of living, right? Yeah. Yeah, and it's only $300 a year. Think about this for a minute, folks. This person, if they wrote 25, I added them all the time, and I'll get in that in a minute, but let's just say out of this 25, they added half, or let's just say 10. They added 10 accidental deaths, and they averaged $300 a year. That's $3,000 of extra premium, right? Extra premium. And on top of that, what's the chances these accidental deaths are going to issue? 100%. There's no health questions, folks. There's no health questions. It gets through right now. 3,000, let's say you're at 70%. Let's just say 50%, right? 3,000, 50%. How much you make? $1,500? That goes a long way in buying leads. Now you're saying, well, yeah, you're right, Scott. Whoa, wait a minute. Yeah, I want the A leads, but I want to buy bonus leads now because I got $1,500. It's as simple as that, folks. and you've taken care of a client, they're happy as can be. But I'm going to tell you right now, when I was writing these, I don't think, Chris, I don't think I wrote ever less than 12 of them in a month. And all that money went right back into my leads and then some. I would bump it. I go, okay, I'm going 10 A leads. Okay, I'm going 15 A leads, but I'm going to bump a little bit. No, bonus leads. Folks, once again, you're not buying leads. You're investing in your income. That's what you got to keep. That's the mindset you got. You're investing in your income. The more leads you purchase, and if you purchase them wisely, that's an investment. We don't do leads just to lose money. That's why we don't buy leads to do that. We buy leads to make money, right? That's what we do. And so, but these are numbers, folks, that you have to know them. And that's why I'm saying we need to know them from as an agent all the way up to through your business. We have to know what these numbers are. And if you know how to do these numbers and you've got agents, guess what? You're going to show this to them because you want them profitable. If you understand it, they understand it. You're an agent starting today and you understand this and you talk to your mentor to make sure that you know what these numbers each month, that's going to get you on the right course if you decide to build a team that you're going to have them going the same way. I am shocked that many people I'll talk to, I've done this with, they're like, Scott, I had no idea. You mean to tell me that's what I'm doing? Wait, I bought that many A leads and this is how much, what? I mean, people should not be shocked. That should not be the case. And so this is something, we had a great AO meeting. This is something that we're going to do on a monthly basis. Make sure that you all know it. And I'm going to say this, folks, and look, you're not employees here. You're all entrepreneurs. If you don't want to know what your numbers are, you can do that. I would not do that. I would be the one saying what's going on with my numbers, right? Because there's some folks in here that I'm like, listen, if you would just bump up your issue paid, double that, you can write less than half of what you're writing. You can save a lot of time. Maybe you do some recruiting or whatever. But we want to make sure that you're on the right path. We want to make sure you're on the right path. Chris, you have anything right now? Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I was just running some numbers here. Again, this individual had a pretty solid month, but you're looking at minimum of $3,800 lead bill, with 104 A leads, and that's if they're at a 70% contract. If they're anything higher than that, obviously we know the leads go much higher than that. And so, you start factoring that out. And, again, for those who are brand new, the 15,000 issue paid, you don't get a check cut for 15,000 because we get paid 70%. We get paid sometimes not 70%. You write final expense and maybe you get a plan that issues at 60%, just because of the age of the client or health issues or whatever. So when you start factoring that in, you can see how quickly it's still good money. I'm not saying it's not, but it could be a lot better. Just a couple little tweaks, just very, very minor tweaks, and your profitability goes to the roof. So that's why the PPL number, profit per lead. That's why it's that profit being the key word there in managing your business. And then as you grow from that, not only as a personal producer, but as you grow into team volume, this is, again, that's going to pay, that's going to be determining so many things, whether or not you move forward as a team, and again, we have the advantage of being able to be promoted on team volume, but look, this number factors into that. So you don't want to set up a culture where you've got a low PPL across the board, because you personally are not going to be able to move forward. And so, and then everybody in your team is not going to be as profitable as they could be. And so then that also creates the revolving door that we see a lot of times, where we get people come in, they work hard, they put in a great amount of effort, and then all of a sudden they get discouraged and leave. If we're not paying attention to this number, this is usually where we can trace this back to, is the fact that they were buying a bunch of leads, doing a lot of work, but they weren't profitable in their process. And guys, I know the A leads are great, but man, those B1s, B2s, just a lot of value for the money. I mean, it just, in what is it the home office says is that the B4, B3, I think is the best value overall based on their calculation. But I mean, regardless, it's just, you know, I mean, this is such a huge metric.
Yep, absolutely. You know, I'm looking at a couple things here, Chris. It's kind of interesting. You know, when we look at this, I'm going to use a couple examples here, but if you take this one up here on number 24, you know, here's someone who wrote 17,946. They issued 14,734 with an 82%. That's awesome, right? Great job. But what got really interesting is if you look at this, this person has a PPL of 669. So you're like, wow, that's good. But here's the deal. They had 22 A leads. They wrote 11, right? I'm sure there was multiple sales in there. I'm sure. But the bottom line is 50%. 50%, right? I mean, it's a big difference, right? And I think I had another one here I was looking at.
Hey, Scott, let's pause on that one for a second, because I can almost guarantee you on this particular case, and somebody just asked me a question highlighting how the bonus leads can affect affect that bottom line. Look, they took 22 A leads.
Mm-hmm.
I would be willing to bet that there's probably quite a few bonus leads in that mix as well. I would say there are probably at least as many bonus leads, if not more bonus leads, that this person bought, just because we know the numbers, you know, and so for them to have a 50% close rate and a PPL of 669, that again, bonus leads cannot hurt your bottom line number. They can only help you.
That's the bonus leads. You took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly, because you're like, man, how, you know, 50%, I get it, but 669, that's bonus leads. That's bonus leads put in there. So, you know, that is an awesome one right there. You know, I mean, it really is. Those are great numbers to see. And then when you look, and like I said, if you look at, you know, I'm trying to find what's close to it. Wait, wait a minute. Here we go. No, that ain't gonna help. But well, it kind of does, because here's we have another one right below it, Chris. They have a 23, right? 23 with 11, and they're at 47%. But the PPL is 101.
That person probably only bought A leads.
That's right. That's right. So it's so important, folks. And I was saying this with Chris, we had the AO call. I remember back when we were doing this, I said we would buy 10 A leads, and then what else, Chris? Bonus leads. Typically, we would buy 25 or 30 bonus leads, right? And that's what we did.
4 to 1.
Huh?
4 to 1 is what the company is now recommending.
Yeah. So let me just a real quick, but I will let you all understand this. I was clueless on this stuff, folks. Trust me, when I was first doing this, I was out in the field, I was running, and I get a phone call from home office. It's Pam from Leads. She says, Scott, I got 7 extra A leads. Do you want them? And this was going on for a while, right? I'm like, finally I asked her, I said, Pam, why do you call me and ask me if I want these extra A leads? She goes, you're number one. I go, number one at what? She goes, well, you're number one. She goes, your PPL is skyrocketing. It's huge, right? I go, okay. I said, what's that mean? I mean, I'm clueless, right? She goes, well, that means that you're just, you have a higher PPL. You do really well at, at making sales with the least amount of A leads. I said, oh, well, what was going on was, folks, I had no idea about A leads when I started. The first 3 months, I was writing all bonus leads. So my numbers were going insane because I'm making all this, writing all this business on just bonus leads. So when I got on A leads, guess what? I was number one. My GMR was I never understood why people never got their GMRs fulfilled every week. I always did. Why? Because what they do is they look at the percentage of what you're selling in A leads. Now, this is another thing that affects you, folks. Not only will it affect you if you go under 30%, you can lose it. But if you're low, if you're the lower person, they're going to give leads to the highest and go down. So if you've got a GMR, you're like, wait a minute, Scott, I see things. People are getting this many leads I'm hearing from Texas or wherever, and I'm not. You may want to look at your percentage. Because what they did with me was if they had an overage, what they would do is they would call me and say, Scott, you're number one. Do you want them? Yeah, I'll take them. If I didn't take them, they would go to number two. But I always took them, right? I mean, I could write business with these A leads. I wrote bonus leads for 3 months. A-leads was candy. But once again, I think what's happening right now is, and we have to have this conversation, right? Sometimes we got to have these conversations. The A-leads are awesome. I've never seen anything like it, right? But you're not going to write every one of them. And if you're new, fortunately, we allow people to get on A-leads a little quicker than we used to, right? You can do A-leads, but as mentors and you understanding this, we've got to add some bonuses. And guys, right now, we got this new system coming out. You don't even have to call them. Put them in the system. You just sit back and wait for an appointment to set up. I mean, I'm just being honest. It's that easy. But this way, I'm talking about not as much as bonus money you get, but profitability. I want y'all to be profitable. And so this is just so important. So, you know, Chris, unless you have anything else, that's it for me today. But one thing I want to say is please reach out to your mentor, to your AO, and have this conversation. Have a conversation before the next one comes out in May, so you're prepared and understand this. Okay, y'all. I think you guys want to be profitable. I think you want to understand what you do in your business. Like I said, I had one of my folks, love her to death. I know she's on here. She looked at the numbers. She goes, "Oh my gosh, Scott, I hit AO numbers," and she understood it. She looked at it, you know, and I literally take a picture of her and let her look at it, and she goes over it with me. And I've got 3 others that do that. So now she's going, "Scott, all I have to do is this. I got to make sure I have this many people and blah, blah, blah." And she's already telling me about her business. I'm not telling her. And she's getting to understand how she's growing now. But folks, that's what's important. There's little things in here that, yes, you can write a lot of business. Yes, you can have a good issue paid. But man, the profitability is how much you spend in leads. And what you ought to do is be doing multiple sales that's going to offset that lead cost. And that's what's going to work well for you. Chris, anything else?
No, that's great. I appreciate Scott, you jumping on and everybody jumping on for that matter. You know, this is such an important topic. And, you know, it's the thing about this business that I hate the most, or not this particular, but the fact that we bring good people in and then we lose good people just because they don't understand how to make all this work, how to make it profitable for themselves. And so this is why we want to share this information with you. Hopefully you get something out of it to help yourself, you know, grow your business. Maybe you already have great numbers, but you need to be able to teach others how to have great numbers, or maybe you don't have great numbers. You need to figure out why. And this is usually a smoking gun to a lot of what we see with people struggling with profitability.
Well, you know, Chris, and here's the thing too. I can almost bet, I know one right now, because the reason why I can see her, she's right up front here under my picture, Stacy. I know she's competitive. I know you are. Oh yeah, I know you are, Stacy. You're competitive. And most of all, you are on here, right? I am very competitive. You know, Brandon's brought it up, or Jacob's also brought it up. I will compete for a pencil. I don't care if it's the eraser. If they say this is what you need to do this month, I will compete for that eraser or pencil. I'm being honest, I'm competitive, right? Folks, take this and be competitive. Stacy could look at her numbers and go, "Wait a minute. I did this and wait a minute. I can change that, or I can do better than that," right? Have these copies and say, "Okay, that's what I did this month. Okay, I see this is how many A-leads I buy. Okay, I'm at 40%. You know what? I could bump that up. That way I'll be more profitable, because now I'm being more profitable, or I can be much more profitable by maybe selling a couple more multi-policies." Folks, in a home will always make you profitable. I'm serious. I mean, everyone should be doing that. And you're taking care of the client. If you can think of it that way, and think being greedy. I want multiple products because that's going to make me money. Guess what that's going to do? It's going to keep it in the back of your mind, and you may talk to them about a disability, or you may talk to them about critical illness that they may need or they may use. So whatever it does, be competitive with yourself. I love numbers. I always talk about that. You know, Stacy and I went to a ball game, and we're sitting there watching the game. 9th inning comes around, and no one's clapping because we don't know what the score is. If you're not keeping score, folks, how do you know if you're winning or losing? It's easy to win. If everything's going right, you're flying blind, that's good, but I don't like doing that. But if you're losing, you're going to feel that too. So this is how you're going to know by these numbers. So once again, Chris, I really, really appreciate you letting us all on your call, and all your agents, your AOs, everyone. We really appreciate this. I know it was a quick thing. I know how important this was. We all felt that way as AOs, and I really appreciate everybody on here. So if you have any questions, anything at all about this, or just reach out to your mentors, reach out to your AO, say, you know what, I want to make sure that I'm seeing this each month. They come out, folks. If we're like May will come out typically around the 8th or the 10th, somewhere in that area, within a week and a half to 2 week period. That will be the numbers for May. So just that gives you an idea, but let them know, hey, you know, the folks that I'm working with now, they'll get text, Scott, the numbers come out yet? Does the numbers come out? Yeah, I love it. I mean, love it. They want to know their numbers. So do that. Make sure you understand this, but I really hope this helped. Chris, a great job, Chris. I appreciate you on here going over this, but I really, this is a huge game changer in your business.
Awesome, man. I really appreciate you jumping on, Scott. Thank you to all the teams, the Choate, the Cox, the Gastineau, the Door team for jumping on with us, and hope you got some value out of this call. Love being on the Mank hierarchy team with you. We're going to transition. Certainly, if you're welcome to stay on if you want to hear our numbers, but we're going to do leaderboards announcements for our team. But we realize everybody else has got their day to go to, so. That concludes the larger portion of the call. We're going to transition now into Menefee agency numbers and business and all that stuff. So thank you all for jumping on, and wish you the best. We look forward to seeing you all in Denver in August. So thanks, guys.
Also, Chris, real quick, if anybody, if anyone's going to Dallas or Orlando, I'm going to be there. We're going to have a lot of people. My goodness, we're going to have a lot of people in Dallas. I hope y'all can show up. I'd love to meet every one of you. Whoever's going to be there, it'd be great. But I'm looking forward to being in Dallas and Orlando. I was kind of hoping to be in Indianapolis, but I'll be out of town for another meeting. But definitely looking forward to those too.
Okay. Yeah. And to keep those guys, drive traffic to those meetings. You know, that's important. We've got leaders that are going to be all those. I am, if everything works out, I will probably be in Dallas. So if you have anybody in Texas that you want to send over, if and for some reason my plans fall apart, I know Jacob is going to be there, Scott's going to be there, so you'll have plenty of representation from our hierarchy. But definitely recruiters and builders be driving traffic to that. So. Yep. All right, so we're going to transition.
Chris,
thanks, Scott.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Great weekend.
Thanks, Scott.
All right,
thanks,
so
Chris.
let's transition to thanks, Mark. Appreciate you jumping on.
Take care.
Let's hit some announcements, and we're going to we're reversing orders completely here. So anybody, Stella, do you have any announcements for your team that you want to go ahead and highlight, touch on here before we move to leaderboards? Stacy, anybody else?
Yeah,
go ahead, Stella.
Thank you so much, Chris. Oh my gosh, I just want to reiterate again, thank you for going through this. My phone was blowing up with people saying, you know, this is just such great perspective. Just, you know, this is well needed, and I just love it. We went through just only a few of my team members last month to check our snapshot on Opt. But we're going to make it a monthly habit with everybody on our team and just go through and look at that monthly snapshot in Opt to see where we're at so that we can help each other improve. So thank you so much. And just big, huge shout out to there's a couple of people on my team that have like almost $400 of PPL, $399 to be exact. She knows who she is. And then I have another one, as you know, who's just always killing that. So I'm just so proud of them. That's all. Thank you so much, Chris. Awesome job.
Awesome.
Today.
Very good. Stacy, do you have any announcements?
Yeah, just shout out to some of the new folks that are kind of tuning in, you know, checking us out, getting a sense of, you know, what the team is like in the company. So this is a great call for you all to be a part of. And then again, shout out to Miss Victoria, who is kicking butt and taking names. Wait, or do you take the names before you kick the butt? Whatever, she's doing great. I'm going to look that up.
That's all right. As long as the butts are being kicked, that's the main thing. That's the important part. So, all right, fantastic. Let's hit. Anybody else have any announcements for their teams, et cetera, et cetera? No, floor is clear. All right, let's go ahead and finish up with some leaderboards, gang, and then we'll get off. And I know Friday, obviously a big sale day. We've got a lot of people that still get business to put in, got things left to appointments to finish for the day. So, so this is as of this morning about 9 a.m. Central. And what we have so far for just the Menefee base shop and Dinwiddie, and then we'll go over the entire hierarchy monthly leaderboards up to date for the month. We do have one more week left in May. So again, from a production standpoint, pushing for promotions, make sure that you're watching the calendar, and so submit goes through the 27th. But issue paid will go through the 31st. However, keep in mind that's Memorial Day weekend. So probably a lot of the carriers are going to be closed on Monday. So any last minute business that you're trying to get pushed through is probably going to have to go through on Tuesday the 31st. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're trying to hit your numbers. So, all right, guys. So for the week so far, we have Stacy Love, one application, $498. Direct to Donna Bates. Victoria Hayes, one application, $586, direct to Stacy Love. Jim Arch, one application, $726, direct to Stella Dinwiddie. Donna Bates, one application, $774, direct to Spencer Cushion. Stella Dinwiddie, 3 applications, $1,840, direct to myself. Terry Myers, number 1 for the week, 7 applications. Wow, app count lead, $8,774, direct to Stella Dinwiddie. Awesome week, Miss Terry, great job. So let's look at the leaderboards for the hierarchy. And again, this also includes the Better Agency and Dinwiddie and Menefee Base Shop. So far for the month, we've got 32 riders sitting at 194,000 with yet a week to go. So great month so far. Let's keep pushing hard, hitting our numbers, and build that momentum leading up to conference in August. We're going to do top 10 for sake of time. Sydney Lee, 2 applications, $8,139. Salvatore Manzo, 8 applications, $8,189. Adam Patterson, 5 applications, $8,196. Anna Phillips, 6 applications, $8,489. Donna Bates, 10 applications, $8,610. Tanya Hoffman, 9 applications, $9,776. Derek McPherson, 13 applications, $11,814. Terry Myers, 11 applications, $12,733. Stella Dinwiddie, 11 applications, $17,489. And Jenny Gray, so far leading for the month, 23 applications, $28,917. And the big one that you all are waiting for, I know, the Golden Chicken update. Right now, Stella and Terry are tied at 11 applications. This is anybody's race at this point, quite honestly. Donna Bates trailing very closely behind with 10 applications. Anyone can take that hardware home, so make sure that you are pushing hard. Again, that is an app count contest, has nothing to do with APV. So if you want some Golden Chicken hardware, I would be putting in some extra applications on your appointments this week. Kids, apps, accidental, anything you can do to pump that app count up, gang. So, all right, let's go ahead and wrap it up. We're just a hair over the top of the hour, but I think a great call, worth the time. And appreciate you all jumping on. Reach out to your mentor, make sure you understand where you're at for the month, where you're at on your promotions, and make sure you understand where you're at on this this PPL situation, as far as making sure that you're hitting promotions, all that good stuff like that. So, all right, gang, great to see you all. Let's go out, have a great weekend, and finish the last week of May very strong. Have a good one.